In chess, every move determines your position. Every decision shapes your future. But what if the board was real estate? What if the pieces were millions of dollars? Watch as Mackenzie Hall transforms chess principles into real Las Vegas development projects. This isn't theory. This is live strategy in action. Subscribe now and learn the rules before you pay for them later.
What up? I'm Mackenzie Hall. I'm a real estate developer. I'm a property manager, and I own multiple properties in the United States as well as outside the United States. On this channel, I'm going to break down a ground up 8-unit project as well as other projects that I have done, and I'm going to give you the raw information. I'm talking about from dirt to doors to dollars. We're going to break down everything from start to finish, and we're not going to skip the uncomfortable parts. I'm talking about zoning, skipping the entitlement and the delays, and I'm definitely not going to skip the parts where the timeline blew up in my face and I almost lost it. So I want you to lock in and tune into the real development process.
Cement and then the wall. So that's what we're doing up here. Repave all of this. But you see it sinking in. We have to pave it to where it's flush. We've been on our head about that for sure.
The sound finally goes off, the alarms are finally, we got approved. But it's not the end. It's not a green light to keep doing construction. It's more like a securing your position on the board. At this point, the building hasn't changed, the dirt hasn't moved, but the clock is running. Money is drifting out of my pockets, things are going on, but nothing's going on. Approval means I could keep moving through the system, but like I said, nothing is really going on at the site. Conditions of approval. The approval comes with conditions. It's very basic. It's not dramatic. It's just they need you to fix some things in your plan. So this could be plan revision. This could be a department comment. Fire and civil can have their own conditions. Sometimes a small design adjustment. Sometimes they are unreasonable. But every condition requires time. And at this point, this is where I tell everybody you need to plan, or you may be in a situation where you get overwhelmed. This is where people get frustrated and start trying to force progress. And in my experience, that usually does not work. It's not the right move. Everything needs to be fluid. Permits and plan checks. Once conditions are addressed, permits come next. Building, fire, civil, each department reviews the plan separately. And sometimes that takes about 2 weeks per department. And they do not review them at the same time. So, plans go in, comments come back, drawings get reviewed, you resubmit, and you wait. This back and forth doesn't feel productive, but it is. Sometimes it's not, but it is productive. Everybody's taking a look at your plans and they're giving a final thumbs up. You have to protect your position instead of overextending yourself. Put this in your plan, in your pre-construction. You need to say, I need this much time, maybe a month and a half, to make sure I get all my plans approved through commission and I get to that final stage, which is permitting. Fees and the invisible process. When money starts going out with nothing to show for it. I'm talking about permit fees, inspection fees, utility fees. Just you have so many fees and costs in your pockets. Feel like an elevator, just going in and out all the time. Don't feed into that bad momentum. It's a marathon, not a sprint. In development, just like chess, not every move is about advancing. Sometimes you have to take a step back so you can move forward. The lesson for this phase is simple. Approval isn't the end of risk. It just shifts where the risk lives. The projects that survive are the ones that assume this phase will take the longest and they act accordingly. With my project, I had to do the same. I knew that this phase was going to take a month, maybe 2 months. So I made my window that long just for commission and planning and city and getting down to that permit stage. I knew it would take a long time. Luckily, it went faster than expected, so I was able to move up my timeline. The biggest thing is that you don't want to have to take away time. You want to be able to add time right out the beginning so you don't find yourself having to find time. In the next episode, we will finally break ground. We're talking about demo, we're talking about grading, utilities, and some things that showed up after we started digging. If you want the real version of the development, I want you to lock in, I want you to subscribe, and I want you to follow. Understand what you're buying, what land, what building, who you're buying it with, what you're buying it for. Because if you're just buying it because you love the lot, you love the land, and there's no understanding of what you're going to do with it, you're going to end up buying it high. And then when you can't do what you want, you're going to sell it low and fumble in the back. And then you're going to be right back here in my comments crying to me, and I don't babysit bad decisions. Okay, so I've been in my comments and people ask about developing in other countries. Now, this is very technical, and I'm going to get into it, but first, I gotta get to where my development is. So let's get to that. We're building, more units. It's more of it to be a luxury house than anything. If you look at the houses around you, you can see like a lot of these are multi-million-dollar houses. So this is a multi-million-dollar house. We're building a 2-story house that will be able to capture the view of the full city of Las Vegas. We're going to try to do it on this lot and that lot. So you have about 2 acres of land. Each house will probably be 4,500 square feet. Pool, casita in the back. You know what I mean? There's a lot of room to do what you want. This happens at a lot of people's lot. People who like to dump things on your lot. So you can either pay for somebody to do it, or get down here, get your gloves on, put your steel toes on, and get this stuff and go take it to the dump. And I don't like to waste money. I don't care if it's 100, 400.